What is going on, everybody? How are you guys doing, man? You guys already know what it is. I go by RB, and this is Philly Take with RB. First off, I want to say I hope that you guys are happy, healthy, safe, all of that. And I hope you guys are having a good week, man. Definitely some things going on. Obviously, nothing crazy because we are still in a time with no sports, so it's been hard. But a lot of things are going on. We have some good stuff to talk about when it comes to the Philadelphia Eagles. And we just hit 7:30, man. Already 12 people in here. What is going on, everyone? We're going to start with the breaking news that just broke about 20 to 30 minutes ago. Have a community post, have the results for you guys, have it all for you guys. But what is going on? Let's read some of these comments. 15 people in here. If you're just coming in, smash that like button. It helps me out, guys. And let's get ready to get some good football talking tonight. What is going on, people? Let me lower my chair a little bit. Connor Murphy, what's going on, man? Rick Bennett, Augie, TRNJ, what is going on, everyone? How are you guys doing today? How are you guys doing on this great Friday? Let me know what is on your mind. Freddie Guzman, what's going on, bro? What's going on? BPY, my boy. Barn 5, what is going on? Stephen Joyce, Hyde is gone. And yes, that is what we're going to start with. Just give me 1 second. Zach DePietro, what's going on? Carter's Life, what is going on? Appreciate you, my guy. Thank you guys for continuing to come out every single Friday, man. We have a lot to get into. Kara, what is going on? I'm drunk. What is going? That's good. That's good. I mean, you got to enjoy your Friday night somehow, right? Jock Talk, what is going on? Tom, what is going on? Hey, so as Steven said, man, the breaking news that just broke about 20 to 30 minutes ago, I had prepped to come on here. We're going to talk about the Eagles running back situation, as you can see in the title. That is the first thing we're going to talk about. But if you didn't hear already, Carlos Hyde is off the board. Carlos Hyde is headed to the Seattle Seahawks on a 1-year deal. Kind of messed up a little bit of what I wanted to talk about, but hey, we're going to go with the flow. We're going to go with the flow. Now, I put out a community post about 40 minutes ago. And I said, with Carlos Hyde now off the board, what should the Eagles do pertaining to the bruiser running back situation? You guys let me know down below in the comments, man. This was 40 minutes ago. It already has 50 votes. It is very even. 26% say Leonard Fournette. 24% say Lesean Mccoy. Another 24% say Devonta Freeman. And 18% say either Elijah Holyfield or Michael Warren, and 8% say others. So it is very, very close. What I will start off by saying is I'm kind of hurt, man. I am. Because I viewed Carlos Hyde as a guy that still had some left in the tank. Obviously, had a couple seasons over 900 yards like 4 years ago with the 49ers. And then he had that kind of off year where he played for a couple teams, the Browns, the Jags. But last year kind of revived himself. Like I said, Hyde is that kind of player. When you think he's down and out for the count, he comes back and has a strong year. And he put up over 1,000 yards last year, even though he did have his career high in carries. Carlos Hyde showed me that he can still be productive. I could definitely have seen him coming to the Eagles, complimenting Miles Sanders, Boston Scott, and the rest of them, putting in at least 10 carries a game and providing for this Eagles team. And if you guys, by the way, see the details of the contract, let me know. I still have not been able to find it. But Carlos Hyde is out on a 1-year deal. So now what do we do at the running back situation in terms of that bruiser type of back? Let me know, guys. Let's get to some of these comments. Tristan Tillman, what's going on, bro? What is going on? TRNJ, I am in a closet dressed and have makeup on like the Joker. That's great, man. It's absolutely great. Glad to hear that. Which running back that we are interested in getting can jump over people and just plow you over? How's it going, Kayvon? What is going on, bro? Appreciate you stopping by. Carter's Life, love your vids, bro. Look forward to your visits. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you a lot. How's it going, RB? What is going on, Tristan? Can my brother Declan get a shout out? Shout out to him, bro. Shout out to him. Barn 5, we should keep Elijah Holyfield. Hey, man, he's sounding like a viable option at this point. Scott North, yo, bro, what is going on? If you guys are just tuning in, man, we got 16 people in here, 20 likes. Smash that like button. We are going to be streaming every Friday. You guys already know what the deal is. We're talking about the Eagles running back situation with Carlos Hyde. Who do the Eagles go after? So, Jock Talk says Warren and Holyfield. I like it, man. I like it. Mark Schaefer says, I think Shady comes home for one more year and help these young running backs. Now, I was going to say this. So earlier, before this Carlos Hyde news broke, I was going to come on here. First thing I was going to talk about was the running backs. Now, let me tell you guys, for some reason today, I've had like this impulse kind of feeling. For some reason, something's just calling me out, telling me that Shady McCoy would end up in midnight green next year. And this was before the Carlos Hyde news broke. I was going to tell you guys this, but now after Carlos Hyde has gone elsewhere, I really have this feeling that Shady McCoy is going to be a Philadelphia Eagle next year. There's multiple reasons why I think this. Number one, obviously Shady McCoy talked about it in that interview that we covered, a week or two ago. He said that he would be open to a reunion with the Eagles. Shady McCoy has accomplished so much. Shady McCoy has won a rushing title. He now has a Super Bowl ring. All the years, all the yards that add up. Shady McCoy is to the point where he even said it himself. He's okay with not being the guy. And if you read about the Philadelphia Eagles, they want that kind of guy. They want a guy that is going to contribute, 8 to 10 snaps a game. Obviously can realize that they are not the number one anymore. And that someone that's going to help out guys like Miles Sanders. Having Shady McCoy here, a guy who's been through it all, the team's all-time rushing leader, right? I still am mad that we got rid of Shady McCoy, but throughout all the years, all the experience, all the leadership that Lesean McCoy has racked up, I think he would be, honestly, probably the best fit at this point, unless we stay in-house. But I'm talking about on the free agent market. I think Lesean McCoy, if he is healthy and has his legs under him, obviously the injuries are starting to rack up on Lesean McCoy. The injuries are starting to rack up. But the first couple games of last season when he was with the Chiefs and two of the 4 years before that, over 1,100 yards with the Buffalo Bills, Lesean McCoy and having the Philadelphia ties, playing here for 6 years and knowing Philadelphia and being the kind of person he is, I think he would be great and a great compliment to Miles Sanders. So for some reason now, and also, we tend to bring back these kind of guys that know Philadelphia, like Deshaun Jackson and Vinny Curry, guys like that. I have a feeling that Lesean McCoy has a very good shot now of ending up in Philadelphia for 1 year. BPY, we should sign Shady so he can retire as an Eagle. Hey, I would hope that he does. Obviously, he calls Philadelphia home. He loves Philly. I would love to bring him back. Rumors, Eagles are trying to get Adams from the Jets. You think so? If anyone, I hope he doesn't go to the Dallas Cowboys. That's for sure. Tom Tam, I'm going to say I want McCoy because I'm not a fan of Freeman, even though he is younger. Hey, man, when it comes to Devonta Freeman, now, if you guys heard throughout the week, apparently the Seahawks offered Devonta Freeman $3 million with incentives to take it up to $4 million for the year. Now, there is no way that I see the Eagles going out and giving Devonta Freeman $3 or $4 million. I just think, with the injuries that have piled up and given his track record, I think we would go for a guy like Lesean McCoy, who we know is going to come in here and understand Philly and be able to complement Miles Sanders. Now, if no one else is interested in Devonta Freeman, sure, he would be a decent option for the Eagles. He would. But for some reason, I feel like Devonta Freeman, well, I thought he was going to go to Seattle, and I feel like he still wants to be a number one back. He got cut with 3 years left on his deal with Atlanta. They went a different route, got Todd Gurley. I feel like Devonta Freeman doesn't want to come here with 10 or less carries a game. I really feel like he's looking for a role to try to give himself that one more chance. I think he's 28? He wants that chance to kind of revive himself. So I have a feeling Devonta Freeman goes elsewhere, and I think the Eagles might pursue Lesean McCoy. And we will talk about in-house in just 1 second, because that might be the best option at this point. Jock Talk says, I love Shady, but he's not a bruiser back, and especially at his age. I mean, yeah, dude, he's definitely up there. It's over 30 years old. And I agree with you. It probably will end up taking a toll on his body even more. But if we can manage his carries, let's not forget, we have Miles Sanders, but we also have Boston Scott, who's going to get some touches, right? We have Corey Clement. What are we going to do with Corey Clement? Because I remember back in 2017 as an undrafted free agent, every time we got in the red zone, we dumped it off to Corey Clement, and he found his way in. Now, he's obviously been plagued by injuries as well, but for some reason, I mean, I feel like if he's healthy, he can contribute as well. He's still young. Like, we have these guys. And then we have Holyfield and Michael Warren. But I just want to get a couple more thoughts. Who do you guys think we target? Do we go for another free agent running back like a Lamar Miller, a Spencer Ware? Do we go for Shady and bet on him being able to at least contribute some snaps? Or do we stay in-house? Or do we trade a second-round pick or first-round pick for Leonard Fournette? There are a lot of options, people. If we bring Shady back for one season, we'll lose Killins forever. You think so? I mean, yeah, if we were to get Shady here, that would be 4 running backs. And I do agree. I think the Eagles will end up holding 4 running backs. I think Adrian Killins, for some reason, is going to have a good shot of making this team, whether it's on special teams, throw him in the backfield once in a while. I have a feeling that Adrian Killins hit that speed. You don't see that every day. And I don't think we want to let that go to one of these other qualified head coaches who will turn that kid into something special. So I do agree with you there. It's all about decisions, man. Come on. Hot take, Miles Sanders will rush for over 1,000 yards this year easily. And speaking of that, we're going to get through multiple points throughout this live stream where I'm going to ask you guys for hot takes because I have a couple of them dialing up that I want to get to you guys. But good take right there, man. Shady is not even a third-string running back. You think so? I mean, given his age, I might agree with you there, but we need a guy, and you're right, we need a guy who can contribute probably at least 8 snaps a game, and he's going to give you those short yardage, conversions, whether it's 3rd and 2, 4th and 1. We need a bruiser that can make his way through, kind of how Leonard Fournette was for us in 2017. And we saw as the season went on, Fournette started to get tired. He started to wear down. But he contributed for us when we needed to in the clutch situations. Kayvon, I'm back. Finished homework early for you. Shout out to you, bro. Appreciate you stopping in. Trish and Tillman, if we are healthy, this is going to be a scary team this season. We got all the right guys. It's just the injury bug that hurt us in the long run. I agree, man. Like I said, number one factor is health. If this team is healthy, this team can go far this season. I'm telling you guys, this team can go far. We have done something very interesting here. We've rebuilt and got younger and not wasted any time doing it. It's pretty special if you think about it. What do you think of Sanders saying MVP year? Hey, I absolutely love the confidence from Miles Sanders. I think that he is going to ball out this year. It's actually the first hot take of mine that I'm going to get to a little later on down the road, so stay tuned. But I think Miles Sanders is going to ball out. I think he's going to be tremendous this year, having a whole season, having a whole off season, with how they do this with first team snaps. I think Miles Sanders is going to ball out, and not just on the ground, but in the air as well. I think combined, he's a special talent, and I don't want to run him into the ground, but we got to give him a chance to explore this season and just go off. I think he's going to go off, man. Ricky, yo, RB, what up, my boy? Can someone help me catch up? We are just talking about the running back situation right now. Carlos Hyde, if you did not hear, is off the board. He went to the Seattle Seahawks. So we're talking about all the options, Devonta Freeman, Shady McCoy, trade for Leonard Fournette. All these options right now. And now we're about to get to the last couple options, which are the in-house guys, right? Undrafted free agent Michael Warren. Now, in terms of Michael Warren, 5'11", 220 pounds, obviously a little bit undersized, but that's the kind of back that we need. A guy who is a bruiser like Michael Warren is. He rushed for almost 3,000 yards in college. And in his last season, I think he had 10 touchdowns or something? 16 touchdowns last season and 20 the season before. Obviously, he played at Cincinnati, not the biggest school, but Michael Warren if he proves that he is healthy, because the reason he didn't get drafted is because he kind of sustained a little injury during the combine, so he really couldn't work out and practice to his fullest extent. But Michael Warren could be a steal, and if he proves that he can be that guy, and let's not forget about Elijah Holyfield either. He obviously hasn't taken much meaningful snaps in the NFL, but his last year at Georgia, he had over 1,000 rushing yards. He's the son of a former, famous athlete. Elijah Holyfield, just because of his name, he will be here. But I think these two guys are going to battle it out. And whether it's these two guys or, the Eagles have said they would only pay the veterans minimum of like $1 million for a running back on the market. I really think at this point, it's kind of up to one of these two guys, Holyfield or Warren, or bringing back Shady McCoy. But I'm leaning towards Shady McCoy or Michael Warren. I think with Michael Warren, obviously, as long as he's healthy, he's young, right? He's young. He's like 23, 24 years old. So I think that there is still time for him to develop, and he could turn into something special. He could be a steal. You never know. Can you please give Declan Young a wrench? Yeah, I'll give him a wrench. Let me find him. Tell him to comment. Miles Sanders is a beast. Man, he's going to help this team win. I think Miles Sanders is going to go off this year. I really think he's going to ball out, man. What do you think of Adams? Would give up first-round pick, third. I like Jamal Adams. I think he's a game changer on defense. I think he continues to get better. Definitely one of the best safeties there are in the game. I don't know if I'm willing to go with a first-round pick right now. Just given what we have, Roddy McLeod, Kayvon Wallace is going to develop. I think he could be a day one starter. We still have Jalen Mills who's going to convert. We have Will Parks. So I don't know if I would go with a first-rounder right now, but I would do what I could to not let him go to the Dallas Cowboys, because if he goes there, their defense will be significantly improved, and I'm just being honest. Hot take, I think Miles Sanders will become a top 5 running back after this year. Hey, man, I'm telling you, Miles Sanders is going to explode, and it could be this year. Jock Talk, can I get a wrench? I got you, bro. I got you. Philly Talk Podcast, the one and only RB. What is going on, my boy? How are you doing? Everyone go sub him up, show him some love. That's my boy, man. We're definitely going to get on a collab stream soon. And actually, that's a good time to mention that, because, hold on, let me give my boy Jock Talk here a wrench. But yeah, so anyway, as you guys saw in the title, probably, I'm hoping to do some collabs soon with other YouTubers. I got some interesting ideas in mind, maybe some debates, and I'm definitely going to bring some of my realest subscribers on here to talk, whether it's Eagles football, Sixers basketball. I'm going to bring you guys on as we continue this. It's getting hard, right? It's getting hard without sports, but I want to bring some of you guys on, have the chance to give your 2 cents, man. So anyway, my boy Philly Talk Podcast, Philly Mike, my boy Joey Shakes has been hitting me up, 444, Philly fan, all my guys, man. We're definitely going to collab soon, and I'm going to bring some of you guys on here. We're on the road to 2K, man. We're going to keep grinding. Bashir Randall, what's going on, man? Appreciate you stopping by. Hot take, Boston Scott with 700 to 800 rushing yards. Hey, I don't know if he'll get that much, but he's going to contribute. I think he's going to take a step up. He's a little shifty, guy. It's hard to stop him. Hard to stop him in the offense. Why don't the Eagles trade for Chark and Fournette? Does that say Chark? I don't know who you're talking about, but Fournette, man, because if we have to give up more than, a third or a second rounder to go and get Leonard Fournette, he might leave after next year. So what it would take to give up to get Leonard Fournette, is he going to be valuable? We have questions about the personality. I think he has matured, but is he worth it giving up a draft pick when you could use one of these in-house guys, one of these bruiser running backs, when you could get a Lesean McCoy who might be able to contribute? You know what I mean? So it's all about, opportunity costs. It's all about opportunity costs. Do we want to put more strain on the cap, or do we want to use one of the guys that we can breed ourselves? Tiffany Nicole, I'm on my mom's account. What is going on? What is going on? Hot take, Sanders has a crazy year and become the best running back on this team. Well, I think he's already the best running back on this team, and I think he's going to have an absurd year. Appreciate everyone that's in here, by the way. We're streaming every single Friday. 25 people in here. If you haven't, smash that like button. Appreciate you guys. Subscribe if you are new. And let's keep talking. Let's get some hot takes in here, man. At this time, I want to get your final take. Who do you think we go after at running back? I have a feeling, a strong urge that the Eagles will end up signing Lesean McCoy for $1 million or 1.2 million, something like that. Bring him to be a mentor on this team. And I think either him and Michael Warren try to battle it out for that last bruiser spot. I don't know about Holyfield. He's a little unproven, obviously, but he's going to have to get some reps. Whatever we can do, we're doing virtual OTAs. Things are going to be weird, but we need that bruiser running back, and I could definitely see one of those two guys making it, and we got to see what else happens, with Corey Clement, Adrian Killens, a bunch of questions. All I do know is the Eagles have a lot of talent here in a running back room. It's sad to see Carlos Hyde go off the board because he was my number one option. But hey, you live, you learn, you adjust, and we keep on going. Parks and McLeod have been working out with Jenkins. I did see that, and I'm very excited about that. I think those guys are going to be great pieces for the Philadelphia Eagles. I think McLeod will start, and I think Will Parks will end up being a depth piece off, the bench, and I think Kayvon Wallace has a good shot to start day one. No, I don't want Cowboys getting him. We could trade him for McLeod. Is getting old. Mills questionable. I mean, I would love Jamal Adams. I'm not saying I wouldn't, but it would be a lot to go out and get him. And I do think we're going to have to stack up based on some of the needs that I do expect for next year's draft. Oh, Clark, wide receiver for Jags. I got you. I know who you're talking about. I mean, hey, if we could put together a deal, I wouldn't mind it. I would not mind it. You would have to get the money situation figured out. But, the Jags have some pieces that I think they're going to end up getting rid of as well, because for some reason, people just don't like playing for the Jags now because of that organization. So I could see a lot of possibilities happening. First round pick, third, and Douglas for Jamal Adams. Hey, if that could get it done, I might not mind that. I might not mind that deal. That kind of sounds pretty good. Philly girl, what's good? What is going on, Eagles Nation? Appreciate you guys for tuning in. All you guys, appreciate you guys. Lesean McCoy, yep. I'm getting a certain urge that Shady McCoy. Imagine Shady McCoy and D-Jax ending up together in midnight green. It would be insane. It would be insane. I'll get chills. K-Pin, at this point, I've jumped off the trade for this guy and that start ship. We have all seen that the Eagles can succeed through injuries. Better to keep assets than give it away for. And I kind of agree with that, Like I said, based on the expectations, based on what I think we're going to need for the future, I could see us investing in ourselves, using one of the guys, like undrafted free agent Michael Warren, or even using Corey Clement. Like, I think we're going to develop our own guys. But there's always a bunch of options, Hot take, Derek Barnett will have 9.5 to 10 sacks. I love it, dude. Some people are counting Derek Barnett out. I think he's going to go nuts this year. I really do think Derek Barnett is going to have a great year. I don't know why people get really down on him. I don't. I think our D-line is going to be one of the best in the league. I'm telling you guys right now, our defense is going to benefit from having some of the playmakers that we acquired. Even on the defensive line, we are going to be a strong team. But anyway, I think this is a good time for our first hot take from your boy RB. Guys, leave a hot take right now in the comments. Here's my first hot take, and it pertains to the running backs, which we just talked about. I have a feeling that Miles Sanders is going to end up with 1,500 to 1,600 total yards, possibly even 1,700. I think he's going to go off. I do. I could see Miles Sanders having upwards of 900, maybe even hitting that 1,000-yard threshold in terms of rushing yards. And then in the air, let's not forget, this guy can catch screens. We can send him out for a little out route. This guy can catch as well. I could see him having, 16 to 18 carries a game, 3 to 4 in the air. And I think Miles Sanders could amount to, 500-600 yards in the air and another 900 to 1,000 on the ground. I think Miles Sanders is going to explode. He's talking MVP season. I love his confidence. He's lived, he's learned, and he's grown in just 1 year. before our very eyes. From not really playing the first third of the season that much to doing what he did down the latter stretch of last year, I think Sanders is going to explode. And I think he's going to be one of our most valuable weapons this year. Let's hear what you guys have to say. And I want the hot takes coming in all night, man. RB, what's up, bro? J. Rick Reed, what is going on, my dude? Appreciate you for stopping by. Philly girl, if you're willing to be patient and wait one more year for a Super Bowl, bring back McCoy for immediate results. You don't know. Hey, I'm not willing to wait, man. Every year, I think with how we have formatted this team, with what we have done, we are trying to set ourselves up to go for it. We really are. And I think we're going to add a couple more pieces, and we're going to be a sound football team. I do. Gabe says, we don't need another elusive back. We need a bruiser. I say Sanders should get 90% of the carries. And if he's not doing as well as we thought, we could bring in Fournette before the deadline. I love that. I love that insight. I agree with you. We need that bruiser, the one that's going to hit people head smack on, the guy when we're in the red zone, who's going to punch it into the goal line. I agree with you, man. A lot of options, Can Declan Young get a wrench? Hey, tell him to comment, and I got him. Jamal Adams in green. I love it, man. Let me tell you, if the Eagles were to pull off Jamal Adams somehow, I would go absolutely nuts. Like, I will take my shirt off, run around the house, and make a video. Like, I'll go crazy, and, all these Cowboys fans will come in here irritated. That is for sure. I think we stay in house with running backs. I got a good feeling that we do, too. I'm thinking either, like Michael Warren or Shady McCoy, one of those guys I think we go with. I think the Eagles were interested in Carlos Hyde. And let me know, like I said, if you guys hear the terms of the deal. I still have not heard it yet. It must have been a couple million, though. They offered Devonta Freeman $3 million with incentives. The Eagles are not offering that, okay? Yo, RB, I hope you can get me on here. I'm glad we were talking. Hey, man, we're definitely going to get you on here. We're going to get a bunch of my subscribers on here to talk Eagles, football, Sixers. Like I was saying, guys, if you just tuned in, I'm going to get a lot of you guys on here soon. I'm probably going to start streaming more than once a week just so we can talk sports, just so we can stay up to date. And I love doing this, man. Every single Friday so far, the last 4 Fridays, you guys have been tuning in, showing love. I love this, man. I had Sanders on my fantasy team last year and plan to do so again. Hey, I respect it, man. I'm going to have him hopefully on mine as well. Sanders could be Westbrook 2.0. Absolutely agree. I see that potential in Miles Sanders. I see him kind of, being that man for this organization. And just how Shady McCoy was coming into that of his own until he got traded as well. I see Miles Sanders developing into that. Now, a question is, what do we do with Miles Sanders when it's time to pay him? You know what I'm saying? Because just like how McCaffrey got that money, I think Miles Sanders is going to get upwards of maybe even more with the cap going up of what McCaffrey got. I think Sanders brings a lot of value to the team. What are the Eagles going to do when it's time to pay him? We'll worry about that down the road, but I'm just saying, things to think about, things to think about. Hot take, the Eagles will get C.J. Anderson. Hey, man, imagine big boy C.J. Anderson eating a whole bunch of burgers, coming in here and pounding those defenses would be really, really funny, man. We have a top 10 secondary this year with the additions that we made. Hey, I absolutely agree. I'm telling you, people have focused on the offense, but the defense, yes, the defensive line, getting big play slight is going to help whatever corner is at number 2. And whether the linebackers develop or not, that is the biggest question. But I think the Eagles defense, I'm telling you, people are sleeping on it. We are going to have a top 10 defense this year. I will speak it into existence. They might even be the forefront of this Eagles team. I'm telling you, they are some bad boys. Hopefully Jim Schwartz, plays chess every single week, doesn't stay back, learns how to adjust a little better, and I think he's really going to put the pressure on these opposing quarterbacks. We're going to have to. We got some good quarterbacks, good opponents coming up, I'm telling you. Jose G. Torres, I want to be on your channel to talk Eagles. Shout out to you, bro. Keep showing love, man. I'm telling you, I'm going to pick my realest people, the ones that continue to show love on all the videos. Come on the live streams, man. We're going to get something worked out soon. Sanders will be better than Cook, Kamara, Mixon, and Chubb. Hey, I think Sanders is going to be better than all those guys, given what I've seen so far, given what he can do. I'm telling you. I am telling you. Philly Talk Podcast, I can see Sanders as a Lesean McCoy type running back. I absolutely agree in terms of what McCoy was able to do for the Eagles, how he stepped up his role. I absolutely agree. I see Sanders being that type of running back. That's also why I think if Lesean McCoy comes back, he can mentor him and really help him out. Rhaegar is Antonio Brown with more speed and agility. Hey, I think Rhaegar is going to have a big year. He's actually in my second hot take, which we will get to very, very soon. But now that we've talked about the running back situation, the next thing that I want to talk about, I want to shift gears a little bit, all right? And let me know if you guys find out the Carlos Hyde deal anyway. But in terms of the Eagles quarterback situation, right? Do you guys believe, let me know down below, yes or no, has the Eagles organization given Carson Wentz enough help? At this point in the offseason, we are far from done. I'm telling you, Howie is never done. He's going to go out and make more moves. But at this point, given our draft, Rhaegar, some of these receivers in the later rounds, right? The running back situation, bringing Corey Clement back. We have a bunch of options to choose from for this bruiser running back situation. We have the tight ends. We have a good offensive line. Do you guys think that Carson Wentz has enough right now? And what do you think the potential is for Carson Wentz in 2020? I'll go first. I believe that Carson Wentz, if everyone stays healthy, we always say this, I say this. If we are healthy, I believe Carson Wentz can be a top 5 quarterback in 2020. I think this guy could really go for 35 to 40 touchdowns in 2020. I see Rhaegar stepping up as a rookie. I'm hoping guys like JJ can improve. I see Djax having a great year if he's healthy, if his feet are under him. He's traditionally been healthy for the Eagles. Given our 2 tight ends, if we use Dallas Goedert the right way and we still have Zach Ertz, think about what we can do with this offense. If we have guys in the backfield, say we're throwing out there 12 personnel, so we have 2 tight ends on the field at the same time, right? Say we have 2 backs in the backfield. Say we play the 21 personnel package. We have Sanders and Scott next to Carson Wentz at the same time. We can do so much with this offense. I love how we got younger and quicker in the blink of an eye. Like, we didn't even wait. We still have Alshon. What's going to happen with him? If JJ can develop into that position, imagine if JJ has a solid, sophomore year and comes out and performs. Look, guys, what we can do with this offense is remarkable if the guys are used right. Let's get to some of these comments, man. Anthony Perry, you know how it goes, RB. All we do is prove the haters wrong. And every single time, man, every single time we prove the haters wrong. I appreciate that. I put the Carlos Hyde deal in the chat. My bad. I did not see it. Go ahead and comment that again. We need to see Wentz with what he has got now, and we need an entire year to work out the kinks. I do agree. I think it's going to take a little bit to get everything, linked together. But being the only NFC East team with the same system, the same, formula coming back, I think we're going to have a good advantage. And I think this team is going to perform. I think guys are going to step up. I do. I think Carson got help to do that thing now. I do. I agree too. I think Carson Wentz is going to have a big year. People forget last year that he stayed healthy the entire regular season. He just got taken out by a cheap shot. But Carson Wentz throughout 16 games, not only did he stay healthy, he proved the leadership question. He took guys when the talent around him got lower, he elevated and went to a level that I was looking to see. And he proved it to me. I'm excited to see what Carson Wentz can do now with all these speedy guys around him. I'm telling you. The offense can really open up. Health is the key for us. Absolutely agree, Anthony Perry. Health is the number one thing. If we are healthy, this team, like I said before, can be a 10, 11, maybe 12-win team. But if guys start dropping like flies again for the third year in a row, it could end up ugly. We could end up being a 7-win team. So it's going to come down to how well we stay healthy. But with the new chief medical officer, I think they're trying to get things straightened out. I'm excited. 3 years ago, Goodwin was a beast, and he was. You're right. He had a great year. Now, the fact that San Fran swapped 6-round picks with us, it kind of makes me a little skeptical, but we will be talking about the wide receiver position in a few minutes. I think we should cut or trade Jeffrey so Goodwin, J-Jaw, Watkins, and Hightower can get some good playing time. Yeah, man, I still don't think Alshon's going to be here. They keep saying that he is, but given how much he's going to contribute, and I don't hate Alshon. I enjoy Alshon as long as he is healthy. But is he going to be healthy? He's getting up there. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of taking a toll on him. Do we have room for that with all these younger guys that we went out and drafted? I don't think so. I wonder how Boston Scott will do. He has high upside, but I am not sure for his future. Okay, so look, I do think Boston Scott, obviously they're going to have more film on him, right? They're going to have more tape now. But Boston Scott, I'm telling you, reminds me of Darren Sproles, the way he can move those little feet, get under defenders, and having him on the field and having guys like Miles Sanders and two tight ends, like, it's going to be hard to hold everyone accountable, right? Because if you put JJ, say you put JJ, right, or Alshon says put him out the X, or Djax at the X, and you put Jalen Reagor at the Y, there's too much speed on this field. And then if you have a guy like Zach Ertz, you can't just like forget about him. You can't. You got to put enough help on all these guys. And then having a guy in the backfield like Scott or Sanders is really going to open things up. I was reading a thing that said that the Eagles were only under center. Like Wentz only played under center. I think it was 14% of the time last year. I could see him going under center more and us calling a lot more play action, because that's one thing I never really saw us open up well. But knowing Carson Wentz's mobility, knowing the speed he has now, you could see many times this season Carson Wentz linking up with Djax or Reagor or Goodwin, or even if a guy like Quez Watkins or Hightower makes the team, you could see a lot of deep threats on the Eagles and Carson Wentz going deep. Look at his college tape. He went deep a lot more than he has in the last couple of years, and I'm really looking for us to open that up, let him pull the trigger, and let him throw the ball, man. Let Carson throw the ball. I think if we open up the offense, it's going to be very special. I do. Carlos Hyde, 1 year, $4 million deal. Okay, yeah. So that makes sense, right? Same that they offered Freeman. They probably offered them the same. We're willing to bet on one of them. And there's no way Howie Roseman would have paid $4 million for a guy like Carlos Hyde. Obviously, he has some production, but he's getting up there. We have our own constraints, and we need to be smart. So I understand. If anything, he'll pay $1 million, the minimum for Lesean McCoy. If not, we will stay in-house with Holyfield or Warren would be my guess. I don't care what our record will be as long as it's the number 1 seed. Hey, I don't care about it either if we get the number 1 seed. The number 1 seed is going to be huge, especially for the years down the road when they add that extra team, when only one team will have that bye. I'm telling you, it's going to be big. Philly girl, Scott is underrated, and I've been saying it for 2 years. Boston Scott is so underrated. He's been here. I think he plays with a real chip on his shoulder. I do. Given what he's had to go through. And I think Boston Scott, I love his mentality too. I think our running back room is going to be special. We could have one of the best rushing attacks in the NFL, in my opinion. Carson Wentz is the best quarterback when rolling out. I love Wentz on the run. Guys like him, Russell Wilson, Mahomes, seeing all these guys move around and are mobile. As long as Carson Wentz understands that he needs to slide, right? As long as Carson Wentz is smart, because, he's a competitive guy. He loves to get that extra yard and go, shoulder first into a defender, but he's got to be careful. He's got to be careful. I do not want to see him go down again. The potential that I believe for Carson Wentz and what I think this offense is going to do, I think it's going to be very, very special. So before we go on to the next topic, someone was just talking about record. I want to get your guys' record predictions at this point. What was it? 2 weeks ago, I said the Eagles will either be a 10 or 11 win team. Obviously, we have tough opponents, but pending, health, right? Say everyone stays healthy, guys. Give me your reaction. What do you think? What will the Eagles' record be in 2020? Let me know in the comments before we get on to this next area. Barn 5, hot take, Goodwin comeback player of the year. Hey, if that happened, man, if Goodwin is healthy and has his feet under him, man, we're going to get to the wide receivers in a couple minutes. But I appreciate you guys that are in here right now. Like I said, leave your record predictions in the comments. We got 30 people in here, 30 likes. If you guys are in here, haven't smashed that like button yet, take 1 second, click the X, click the like, and come right back in, man. If you're new, subscribe, man. Streaming every Friday. We're probably going to be streaming more collaborations with other YouTubers, other Philly YouTubers, some of my subscribers. It is all coming to the channel. We're on the road to 2K. Appreciate you guys being in here, man. Jock Talk, that's this year with 17, isn't it? I believe it is next season. Fact check me if I'm wrong, but I believe it's after this upcoming season. Kayvon, did you know Goodwin has a channel? I do, and I've been watching it, and he seems very happy. He seems very confident, I think Goodwin, for some reason, I think Goodwin is in a good state of mind right now. I do. With all the new offensive minds we have, the Eagles can go vertical. I do agree, and I want to see how all of these guys, are utilized. Obviously, like Mike Groh, when he was promoted to the offensive coordinator, didn't do what we all expected him. He was great as the wide receivers coach, but when he got promoted, he did not take that step. Whoever is going to be designing the plays, probably Doug and Marty, they're probably going to be all working together. We need to see some creativity, because back in 2017, when Doug was creative and aggressive, oh my gosh, we have the pieces to do so. We really have those pieces. And, I'm telling you, the Eagles can be something special this year. Augie says 9-7 to 11-5. So 9-11 wins. That's kind of in the range I'm in right now. Trishan Tillman, 12-4. Philly girl, 13-3. I'm loving this confidence, guys. I am loving this confidence for the Philadelphia Eagles. 12-4, 13-3, 13-3, 12-4, sweep Dallas. That is what it's going to come down to. I'm telling you, I believe November 1st, the first meeting, week 8 against Dallas, I think we're going to stomp the Cowboys. And later on, week 16 in Jerry World, it could come down to that for the division title. If we sweep Dallas, the Eagles, you can crown them division champions, all right? 16-0, love it, man. Absolutely love it. Kayvon, 11-5. Bashir Randall, 12-4. Anthony Perry, 12-4 or 11-5. It's a tough schedule. Absolutely agree. 11-5. I love it. Bashir Randall, yo, this for RB and Philly Mike. Since Marquise has a channel, do y'all wish to bring him on your channels? I mean, hey, I would love to bring any Philadelphia athlete on to talk sports. That would be crazy if we ever linked something up like that. But speaking of wide receivers, right? That is what I wanted to talk about next. So we've been talking, right, back and forth every week. How many receivers are the Eagles going to keep? 5, 6, 7. I want to get your guys' take right now. And I'm not going to ask the same question, how many receivers we're going to keep. I'm going to give my opinion. But what I want to know from you guys, which receiver do you expect is going to surprise you the most? Is it going to be JJ, who comes out of nowhere and he looks like himself? Is it going to be a guy like Hightower or Watkins that we draft late and he comes out and they are ready to play day one? Is it Jalen Reagor? Is he going to go for over 1,000 yards? Is it going to be Marquise Goodwin? Does he stay healthy? And does it look like, the trade of the decade? What wide receiver is going to step up and just surprise you this year? Let me know, guys. Let me know. Philly Talk Podcast, Rick Scarangello is going to design more rollouts. Carson is deadly at that. Absolutely agree. I'm very much looking forward to see that. I think Carson on the move is lethal, man. Pretty much unstoppable. But to give my opinion on the wide receivers, I'm telling you guys, the wide receiver that I'm trying to be optimistic here. I'm trying to be optimistic. The wide receiver that I think is going to have a big jump this year, for some reason, man, it's just telling me JJ Arcega-Whiteside. I think what the Eagles have planned for him, they want him to play the X. They don't want to keep Alshon for $15 million going forward. If he proves that he can be somewhat productive and continue to develop, and if he is in the right mind, if he's healthy, we heard that interview with the Spanish podcast about how he couldn't even walk to the bathroom. If Arcega-Whiteside is healthy, I think going back, look at his college tape. Like, there's not a reason that we spent a second round pick on this guy, and for some reason he just can't play. Has 10 catches. No. Given all the offensive pieces, just like you guys have been mentioning, I think Arcega-Whiteside is going to be set up to have a great year. Now, he could be a boom or bust. You know, if he does not come out and perform, Arcega-Whiteside could be off this roster next year. But I'm going to be optimistic. I'll go with Arcega-Whiteside. I think he's going to have a solid year and really prove to be one of the Eagles receivers heading into the future. Let's see what you guys said. Philly girl, the Eagles need to keep 5 receivers. Hey, I think it's going to be more than that. I do. 5, you're right. 5, we definitely need 5, but I'm leaning towards 6, possibly 7. Barn 5, Marquise Goodwin. Hey, I like it. I think Goodwin could have the potential, like you're saying. I think he could fill that Torrey Smith type of void that the Eagles need, that veteran wide receiver who can still play as long as he is healthy, and I think he's going to be productive. Kayvon, I think Watkins could surprise me. I've been saying it. Quez Watkins, there's something about that vertical speed of Quez Watkins. Obviously, he's not developed as much as he needs to yet, right? He's not polished by any means. But if he was to continue to work and he showed just a little bit of some potential in there, I'm telling you, he could surprise us too. That's a good pick. Goodwin. Marquise Goodwin. Philly girl, I'm going to stick with Djax in the receiver. Hey, I love Djax. I'm telling you guys, I'm expecting at least 8 to 10 touchdowns from Djax this year. Go back, watch the first game. Just the way it felt like Wentz and Djax had some sort of connection. It like just from day one, maybe it was because we were playing the Redskins. We know how Djax does, right, against his former teams. He just absolutely torches them. But for some reason, it's just like Wentz and Djax were just on the same page right away. And I love it, man. I think Djax is going to have a great year, and he's going to lead these boys. Adrian Killins will be the secret weapon at running back. Wow, that's interesting. I think Killins has a good shot of making the roster. I could definitely see it on special teams. Maybe, a snap here and there at running back. But I'm telling you, that burst speed, you do not see that every single day. That he could be a treasure, low key. The Eagles need to keep hold on to him. Born 5, Goodwin is showing work on his channel. I love it. I'm definitely going to check it out. I watched a couple of his videos. Appreciate Goodwin. I think he could be a vet that could really help the Eagles out. And if he does, like I said, say he starts playing and we see that he can play this year. I'm telling you, people will talk about that trade and wonder why they just swapped 6-round picks. Anthony Perry, Goodwin has a chip on his shoulder like Djax. Hey, I'm telling you, man. Marquise Goodwin, like you said, it's boom or bust. It is his time to show what he can do. I'm excited to see if he is healthy enough to play. Everyone says Watkins, but I think Hightower shocks people. I do like Hightower as well. I do like him coming from a little smaller school, obviously. But given what I've seen from him on tape, he's fast. He's a little bit stronger. I'm telling you, any of these guys could just step out of nowhere and surprise us. It's going to be hard to kind of gather our thoughts based on whatever kind of training they have in the next couple months. But any one of these guys could step up. And what I will say is there will be some speed out there for Carson Wentz, whoever it is. I mean, people don't even talk about Rhaegar that much. We spent a first-round pick on him. We were very high on Rhaegar. I think he is going to have a great season. And now we will get to my second hot take. And speaking of Rhaegar, I mentioned this earlier. It is about Jalen Rhaegar. If you guys are just tuning in, click that like button. Subscribe if you're new. We're giving hot takes all night. We are on the second hot take. My first hot take was that Miles Sanders would have a combined 16 to 1,700 yards for the 2020 season. Now, everyone, leave a hot take right now in the comments section. We're going to read them off. My second hot take is about Jalen Rhaegar. No one's really mentioning him that much. I'm telling you, I think the kid has the mentality to be the guy for the Eagles. I think he's going to step up. I think Jalen Rhaegar, here's my second hot take. Jalen Rhaegar goes for over 1,000 yards. I could see Rhaegar in his rookie year. People are expecting him to contribute, but they understand, his upside is there. He was mainly a second, third round pick until he started rising up the Eagles board later on. What if he comes out and explodes? What if he comes out and has 1,000-yard season? The Eagles will be in very good shape. I'm telling you guys, watch out for Jalen Rhaegar. Watch out for him. I mean, you think he doesn't hear people talk about him in relation to Justin Jefferson and how the Eagles should have took Jefferson and Jefferson has the more short hands. Let me tell you, Rhaegar is going to come out here and he's going to be ready to rock. Goodwin is a free agent next year. Goodwin is from the Philadelphia area. Maybe Godwin to Philadelphia 2021. I'm high on him too. I like him. I think he's really good. I was at the first game. It's going to be D-Jax this year. I agree. D-Jax is going to go off. He really is. I think Hightower, Rhaegar, and Quez ball out. Hey, I can really see it happening. I'm telling you, one of these guys is going to step up. My second hot take, like I said, Jalen Rhaegar, over 1,000-yard season in his rookie year. Wow, Gabe, that's a good one, man. Goddard will have more touchdowns than Zach Ertz. Think about that. I'm telling you, the packages that will be dialed up for Dallas Goedert, what this guy can do. Say JJ doesn't pan out, right? Say Alshon can't stay off the injury list. We're going to need a guy to go up and grab touchdowns in the end zone. We're going to need a guy that we can go up and say we have confidence with Wentz, lobbing up a pass to the corner. Dallas Goedert has shown me that he can do that. Dallas Goedert has hands. He has strength, agility, size. I'm telling you, we need to use these tight ends the right way. I would not trade either of them. I would keep Zach Ertz and I would keep Dallas Goedert, and I think they can both contribute. But Goedert more than Ertz. That's a hot one, man. I like it. Hot take: Ertz will have 1,200 yards or more combined. Hey, Zach Ertz could have over 1,000 yards again this season. He could. I mean, we know Wentz loves Ertz. Wentz loves Ertz, and that is his go-to. Whether guys are going down, whether they're staying healthy, we know Zach Ertz will always be a contributor. One of the main contributors on this team until he is not here anymore. So I like it, man. I think Ertz is going to have a lot of yards. Jalen Mills will be a nice replacement for Malcolm Jenkins. That is a hot take. If you guys know me, I've never been too high on Jalen Mills. I love his personality. I love how he approaches the game, but I just had never thought the size and the athleticism have been there for Jalen Mills. But hey, switching over to a new position, if he gets some reps, maybe he can get something going, man. I'm loving these hot takes right now. Keep them coming in the comments. All 32 of you that are in here right now, I appreciate you guys for tuning in, man. I love this. Having a lot of fun. Rhaegar catches a nasty fade. Hey, I'm telling you, this dude, he plays with some grit to him. Even though he's a little smaller, I like him, dude. I like him. The more I continue to watch, I like him. And someone was talking before about how he had, 3 or 4 different quarterbacks in college. He's going to have Carson Wentz here. And Wentz and him, I think they're going to develop a special connection. I do. Jock Talk, hot take, Goddard outshines Ertz. Another one, man. Hey, Goddard, if he were to outshine Ertz this year and go, for 4 or 5 more touchdowns, all these people talking about Zach Ertz potentially, being out of here, it could be true if Dallas Goedert shows, because I think that he is a top 5, at least talent in terms of tight end in the NFL. And I think both of them are top 5, top 10 at least. Eagles have special things that they can do when it comes to the tight end position. Superhero 18, what's going on, bro? Appreciate you for stopping by. I want us to use Goddard more. He's shown his talent, but we don't throw enough to him. I absolutely agree. There's been times the last couple years where I'm screaming at my TV, why? Why is Dallas Goedert not in the game? Why? We could use him as a run blocker, right? Or use Zach Ertz as a run block. Let Goddard go out, hit an out route. He can catch too. He's young, he's developing, and it's so much sweeter that we took him right out of the Cowboys' hands. Hot take, Miles Sanders will be a Pro Bowler this season. I agree. I think Sanders is going to be a Pro Bowler. And to the next comment, Anthony Perry, hot take, Miles Sanders MVP. I'm telling you, he's been talking about it. He has that confidence. Miles Sanders is going to ball out. He could be one of the best running backs in the league this season. If you didn't hear my first hot take, I believe Miles Sanders will have 15 to 1,600 yards combined, maybe even more. Zach Ertz apparently would practice by catching 1,000 tennis balls a day when he was in Stanford. I did see that too, and that's crazy. That's really impressive. Zach Ertz has sure hands, and maybe that's why. Killins has the quickest first step I've ever seen. Saw him play at UCF about 5 times. That's great, man. I would love to see him in person, maybe at an Eagles practice or something. But just watching the tape, like you said, breakaway speed. Like, guys just collapsing, leaving them in the dust. Crazy. Tristan Tillman, that is what I'm talking about. That is the level I'm on right now. Hot take, Jalen Reagor has 1,000 yards for 79 catches and 8 touchdowns. Absolutely love it. That's where I'm thinking. That is what I could see happening. And if I'm not reading your guys' comments, there's a lot coming in. Appreciate you guys. Keep bringing the hot takes. Just go ahead and comment again. I'm trying to get to all of them. Love Will Park's training with the vet Jenks. I do too, man. I love these guys working together. Jenks still has, a little bit of heart for Philadelphia. He enjoys, helping those younger guys out. I think Will Parks, I don't think he will start. For some reason, I have this urge that Kayvon Wallace is going to work his way in to starting at free safety or strong safety next to Rodney McLeod. But I think we're going to have a lot of depth. I do. And speaking of the corner position, I see right here someone says Sidney Jones will show major improvement this year. I love it. I really do love it. I think that Sidney Jones, for some reason, I think that the Eagles want him to be the number 1 or the number 2 corner behind Darius Slay. They want Sidney Jones to live up to that potential that he had coming out of Washington. Sadly, he tore his ACL at the combine, but Sidney Jones has potential. This is kind of his last stint, Is he going to show it? Is he going to prove himself? If he doesn't, I think Maddox will end up at cornerback 2. But I think they want Sidney Jones out at cornerback 2, and I think they want Nickel Roby-Coleman and Avonte Maddox in the slot. And if that is what we go into the season with, let me tell you, teams are going to have a hard time against the Eagles. Teams are going to have a hard time. And Kayvon Wallace and McLeod as safety, come on now. Philly Talk Podcast, been on the highway for an hour. This stream has been getting me through it. Shout out to my boy, if you guys just joined in, Philly Talk Podcast, one of the best Eagles YouTubers out there. Me and him are always collabing. We're going to hop on a live stream very, very soon. Go ahead and show him some love. Appreciate all you guys that are in here. 37 people are in here. It's popping on a Friday night, man. It's popping. You guys don't have to be in here, but I appreciate you guys coming through, talking some Eagles football, bringing the hottest takes on YouTube. Appreciate you guys being here right now. Hot take, Reagor, 80 catches, 750 to 900 yards, 6 touchdowns. I love it. I think Reagor is going to go off this season. Hot take. Yo, you guys are coming crazy right now. I'm loving this. Like, the comment section is just going absolutely nuts. Kayvon Wallace, Defensive Rookie of the Year. I could see it happening. I could see Kayvon Wallace, given what I've seen from him. He is very quick. You can put him in a lot of different positions. He's versatile. I see Kayvon Wallace, given his attitude. Hey, Kayvon Wallace is going to show up. He's going to hit someone in the mouth week 1. One of those speedy receivers from Washington, he's going to hit him in the mouth if he's playing. I'm telling you, I'm ready. Hot take, Andre Dillard Pro Bowl. I love it. And I didn't talk about this, but, we saw a couple days ago, Andre Dillard, Doug, giving him high praise, saying he is the man. And, he only gave up one sack in college. Whether we bring back JP or not to back him up, Andre Dillard is the future left tackle of this team. These guys don't get talked about enough. Him. On the other side, Lane Johnson, Brandon Brooks, Jason Kelsey. Like, we need to really appreciate these guys before, we have to do a little rebuilding, because our offensive line is a bunch of rocks. They need to keep Carson healthy and protect him every single week. And I love our offensive line and our defensive line as well. Our trenches, man. Howie Roseman always addresses the trenches, and I love it. We have so much talent. They're going to protect Wentz, I'm telling you. Hot take, Sidney Jones and Derek Barnett with a breakout year. I love it. Those are two guys I'm looking to really take that next step. If Derek Barnett were to take that next step, we already talked about the corners. Derek Barnett, Brandon Graham, Javon Hargrave, Fletcher Cox. I mean, come on, guys. Come on, Malik Jackson. If we go and we bring back, say, Vinny Curry, I mean, what can we not do? We can pressure every single quarterback. These guys will get there. Having a guy like Javon Hargrave, going out and signing him, we're going to stuff every running back that we play for the most part, which we usually do. But, the Eagles, I think they were 15th in the league last year in defense. I think we were 15th in total defense. I'm telling you, we're going to improve, and we're going to be a top 10 defense this year. That is one of my boldest takes, and I'm going to stick with that until the season comes. We were 14th in offense last year, where I think that's going to go up at least a few slots as well. I'm telling you guys, this can be a solid team. I don't think we are there yet. I think we might need a couple more pieces. We need to see how these guys can deliver, and we need to see who's going to get hot during the season, But this is definitely a playoff caliber roster, in my opinion. Anthony Perry says, y'all hit the like button and subscribe. Absolutely. There is now 41 people in here and we have 33 likes. Everyone, smash that like button. Smash that like button if you're new, subscribe. Streaming every single Friday, and we're going to be streaming even more now, at least a couple times a week, so I can get some of my other guys like Philly Mike, who's on here, Joey Shakes, all my YouTubers that want to collab, and my subscribers. We're going to talk and collab and just bring a lot of you guys on here, man. This got all this, this YouTube channel is because of you guys as well. And I appreciate every single one of you guys. Tristan Tillman, we are bringing a championship back to Philly this season. If it happens, guys, I will see each and every one of you guys at the parade. A couple years ago, I was at the parade, but at that time, nobody knew me. I was just a regular crazy Eagles fan. But that day was one of the coldest days, and I went absolutely nuts that day. Imagine if we were to win a championship. All you guys are going on YouTube. I'm finding each and every one of you guys at the parade, and we are going absolutely nuts, man. I love it, Trishan. I love it. Love the confidence. They needed to do that rebuilding like 2 years ago. I do agree. I think we were kind of coming off that championship high, but the way we were able to execute this rebuild, or whatever you want to call it at this point, we just got younger, quicker, added playmakers in the blink of an eye, and we got a lockdown corner. We improved our trenches, right? The only question I really have is what's going to happen at the linebacker position. Do we develop these guys that we drafted? Do we go out and sign another guy in free agency? Does what's his name, Nathan Gary, come out and be more productive? I made that video about TJ Edwards. Could he improve? But guys, we have a lot to work with. We just need to stay healthy. Javon Hargrave, the most underrated pickup this year. I absolutely love it. Like I said, man, having him and Fletch Cox next to each other, who is going to run the ball effectively on the Eagles? I could think of maybe two teams. Or maybe if we get like a speedy, quick quarterback like Lamar Jackson, he might be able to run it on us a little better. But I'm telling you guys, the defense is going to be very, very interesting. Appreciate all the comments that are coming in right now. We've talked about running backs, right? We've talked about Carson Wentz. We've talked about the receivers. We talked about tight ends, corner. I mean, we pretty much covered a whole bunch of topics pertaining to the Eagles. We started out the night asking about Carlos Hyde and what should the Eagles do at the running back position. I said I think we either give $1 million to Lesean McCoy, let him come back and mentor Miles Sanders, try to give us 5 to 10 carries a game, or we stay with in-house, which I'm kind of feeling could be the more viable option given that they're already here. Undrafted guys, you don't have to pay them a lot. Who knows what is going to happen? Now, I want to transition to one more thing. We've been on here for 1 hour, 5 minutes, and it just keeps going. We got 40 people in here. Appreciate you guys here. I made a video about this earlier today. I got a lot of people on me, and I love it. I've been laughing all day. How good do you guys feel? Let me know in the comments. How good do you feel about the Carson Wentz contract after all that is going on with Dak and some of these other quarterbacks? How good do you feel about Carson Wentz's contract? I think 4 years at $128 million for us to capitalize it after his third season was such a beauty, and it went underlooked. I tried to talk about it at that point, but at this point, dude, it looks even better. Seeing guys like Jimmy G get that money and Kirk Cousins and all these other guys. Carson Wentz, we have him at a discount right now. We do. I'm loving Carson Wentz's contract. It's going to open us up to pay a couple other guys. I really love it right now. And it's sweet because the Dallas Cowboys are going through it. Philly girl, I went to the parade too. I won't do it again. Why not? Why not? You got to be nuts for one day at least. I mean, that vibe, that atmosphere was insane. Gabe, hot take. Cox, Graham, Barnett, Hargrave will all have 6+ sacks. By the way, can I get a wrench? You're absolutely getting a wrench, my guy, because of that hot take. I mean, that is some fire right there. I love it, dude. I love it. I'm trying to find you. There you go. I got you. You definitely got a wrench, my boy. You got a wrench. Tristan Tillman, big hot take. Eagles, Sixers, Phillies win a championship this year. That would be insane if all three did. I'm just at this point, I'm hoping that we even get the Sixers and the Phillies to have a season. You know, we've been hearing they're going to open up practice facilities, but who knows, guys? I mean, really, who knows at this point? It's hard, but I love doing these live streams. It's kind of what keeps me going now that, especially now that the MJ documentary is done. I love it. Ricky with a hot take. How about the Eagles doing 2 big trades during the season? You know the Cowboys are going to pull at least one. I could see them pulling one. I hope it's not Jamal Adams. I see the Eagles upgrading during the season. Maybe and this time will actually produce, you know. Last time we did a trade, a big one during the season was Golden Tate, and we never got him incorporated really into the offense like that. Rick Bennett, what is going on, my boy? Appreciate you for stopping by. He says, I feel so good about Carson's contract. I don't get Dak's audacity asking for $45 million a year. I understand Dak in the sense that he wants, you know, the cap's going to go up. It keeps going up. By that time, he's going to want his contract to be aligned with the others. That's also why he wants a shorter contract. But that is a lot of money. You're right. For a guy that really has, when you look at his resume, has he really accomplished anything? I don't know. I mean, that is a lot more money. And I'm glad that we got Carson's contract done. So it's kind of out of the way, you know? Jalen Hurts, fantastic backup as insurance. I think he is a good backup for an insurance role. I mean, but as we heard, he's going to be the third string quarterback until he gets the offense read and understood and until he, you know, really starts to pick things up. I hope it won't have to come to that point. I hope he'll be used in a couple packages, but overall, I think it's Carson's team. And as long as he stays healthy, I don't think we really have anything to worry about at this point. King Poe, thoughts on Carlos Hyde signing with the Seahawks? Do we go out and get Shady now? We started off the night with this. Yes, I do it. I think it comes down to one of two things. I think now that Hyde, who was my number one option, is off the board, I don't see the Eagles going after Freeman. I think that we either give the veterans minimum $1 million for a year to McCoy, have him come back, mentor Miles Sanders, get at least 5-10 carries a game if he can, or we stay with what's in-house. We breed the guys we have, go with a Michael Warren who's undrafted, or an Elijah Holyfield who has been obviously practicing with us, and we try to go that route. Even if it doesn't work out, think about it. We'll still have Miles Sanders. We'll have Boston Scott. We'll have Corey Clement, who, if he's healthy, I think he could be a very valuable player as well that a lot of people aren't really talking about because the injuries have decimated him over the last couple years. But I do think it's a very solid option. And for some reason, I have a little impulse that the Eagles organization wants to see McCoy back in midnight green, reunite him as they seem to do with some of these other Eagles players. And I would love it, man. Him and D-Jax together, back with the Eagles, crazy. Brendan Hopkins, what's going on? Also get Jay Ajayi back on the team. I think it's a little bit too late in terms of Jay Ajayi. Maybe if you would have said last year, I would agree. He's a free agent. Isn't he like, if I'm not mistaken, isn't he like playing soccer or something now? I don't even know what he's been up to. But we need a guy who's going to have his legs under him. That is for sure. Barn 5, I went to the parade. Best thing ever. Hey, that parade, day I'll never forget. Day I will never forget. Philly girl, I've been a fan for almost 45 years. I bleed green and I die hard. Matter of fact, I don't die. But here's the thing. The money for Wentz wasn't necessary yet. I'm calling it's all political. Money for Wentz wasn't necessary yet. What? If you're saying that we shouldn't have paid him, I disagree with that. I think us getting that deal out of the way, usually with these rookies, you try to pay them after the third year. You don't want to wait till the fourth. Stuck in a situation like the Cowboys are in. They had to use their tag on Dak. And if they don't get something figured out, well, both sides, these players, they might only get one big contract throughout their career. They might only get that one chance. So they're going to want to soak up every dollar they can get. But before that cap goes up, before you have another season, a chance to do something, you're able to give them that money. Carson Wentz got hurt 2 years in a row and couldn't finish the season. That's also probably why he took a little more of a trying to prove himself. But I think it was a great deal the time that the Eagles did it, if that's what you are saying. Philly girl, as for the parade, it was fire, but I was so disappointed. I live in Kansas City now, and their parade was better. Nah, I don't believe that. I do not believe that. I saw that on TV. It did not look as great as the Eagles parade did in person. Let me tell you that both franchises were special, but the Eagles, there was an atmosphere about that day. It was, you can't describe it. It was special. Anthony Perry, RB, I need a wrench. I feel naked. I got you, my boy. I got you. You're definitely getting a wrench. You've been in here supporting. SJ94, looking forward to facing Andy Dalton. Cowboys messing around with that. Hey, I've been saying it, but who am I? I'm just some Eagles hater, right? I don't know what I'm talking about. Beware. I'm just saying, he's there. They signed him for a reason. You can never count out stinking Jerry Jones. Bashir Randall with a hot take. Howie trades for Yannick for a next year's second. Hey, if it were to be a second rounder, I don't know if I would do that deal at this point. I was thinking maybe a third rounder. A second is a little bit of an overreach for me just because of how Yannick, like we talked about, has declined his value. But Yannick hopped back on Twitter. I think it was today I was reading it. He's back on Twitter. He's talking. So maybe the negotiations have stalled with if they're trying to move him. I know they are. But whatever his value is, man, the Eagles should definitely keep an eye on him. If he came here, I mean, we already have a lot of talent at defensive line, but it's crazy. It's crazy. Think about it. What these guys could do if we brought him here. Brendan Hopkins, he's been training since last year. He only invested in esports. Oh, I got that wrong then. Jay Ajayi, I just think he's kind of on that tail end. I mean, I loved Ajayi when he was here, what he was able to produce, but it just seems like he's kind of wearing out a little bit, just in my opinion. But let's see. Superhero 18. Jason Kelsey's speech, even if it was the only thing that happened on that day, would still have made it worth it. I mean, I remember going back to where it was warm and just listening to that speech. It was like I ignited, dude. It was crazy. Like you could just feel the passion, the energy. Like we'd been dying so long for that. just the way it happened, in my opinion, best run to a Super Bowl in history. It was special, man. There's nothing like that. I will always remember those feelings from that year, from that playoff run, everything. Philly girl, I was at both parades. I'm telling you, maybe I was biased because I really wanted it for Andy Reid. Hey, I wanted it for Andy too. I was happy, but there was nothing like that Eagles parade. They were trying to say it wasn't over 1 million people. It was definitely. If you were there, it was over 1 million. Come on now. With Hyde off the board, we got to get Griffin and Freeman or Isaiah Crowell. I think with obviously, like I said, Hyde was my number one option, but if you're talking about Everson Griffin, I could see him as an option, but he would have to be at a discount. Like obviously, we're out on Clowney because of the money. Everson Griffin would have to be cheap. He would have to come cheap if we were to go after him. But I think we have a lot of depth. I do. To your point about Devonta Freeman or Isaiah Crowell, Crowell is a guy that hasn't been talked about as much either. I could see him or a guy like Lamar Miller. Let's not forget, people are talking about Carlos Hyde. One of my slept-on running backs is Lamar Miller. He had over 900 yards as a complimentary running back for the Texans last season. He could be a guy to come here. I think he's like, 29 at this point. He's getting up there as well. He would be very cheap. Would he take a discount? I think he would. He could be an option for the Eagles. I'm just saying, just throwing some names out there. King Poe with an absolutely great comment. Bro, Shady and D-Jax back in Midnight Green gives me chills. Let me tell you guys something. And there's 36 people in here right now, 38 likes. Let's get that to 40. Appreciate all you guys being in here. I know I keep saying that. Hit that like button if you haven't. Subscribe if you're new. Let me tell you guys something about Shady and D-Jax being in Midnight Green. If that were to happen, like week 1, seeing Shady over there on the sideline, D-Jax getting their helmets ready, getting ready to go out on the field. I mean, dude, there's nothing like it. Those guys are so accomplished. They're in our hearts forever. And I think that Philadelphia, having those guys back on this team would just mean something more. Like a reason that I was upset about the Super Bowl and not being able to share it with those guys is because they were part of me growing up. And I feel like they deserved it as much as any of these other players, them, Jeremy Maclin, guys like that. I love those guys. And I feel like they kind of deserved it, And I would love to see them get a chance for another one. Hot take, Darius Slay, 9 interceptions this year. I love it. I see big play Slay having one of the biggest impacts, in terms of the pieces that we got on this Eagles team. I think having him out there, he's going to cover whichever top receiver. Hopefully, he's going to cover the best receiver on whatever teams we play. And I could see big play Slay. I really could, having a lot of interceptions this year. If they throw the ball his way, I feel like they're going to end up targeting whoever we throw out there at cornerback too, because we won't be as strongly invested in those guys. But they're going to have a tough time throwing to whoever Darius Slay is covering. That is for sure. What's Cowboys' record in the playoffs the last 22 years? Please remind me. I love it, dude. I love it. If there's any Cowboys fans in here, let them hear it. Let them hear it again. Gabe says, do you think we can flip Hurts for a top 15 pick at some point? Or should he take over as QB1 after Wentz contract? That is a good point. Me personally, I don't know why. I just feel like Jalen Hurts is not going to turn us a first-round pick. I don't. Like I said, I didn't agree with the pick. I enjoy the insurance that we have in Hurts, but I just feel like he's going to be here. He's going to be a backup. I don't know if the Eagles are going to give up on Wentz. Now, if he were to get injured a couple more times, I could see us trying to go to Jalen Hurts and us developing him. But at this point, I could see him going for maybe a second or a third rounder. A team will definitely inquire about Jalen Hurts. I'm sure they probably already have. But he's going to go for probably a second or a third for sure. If he were to go in the next couple of years. That's just my opinion on it. Oh, by far, the amount of fans, no one beats Philly. The parade itself, that's what my remarks were for. No one beats us Philly fans, not one. Absolutely agree. Love that comment. Fly, Eagles, fly. You're right. No one. We had so many people there. The atmosphere was crazy. SJ94 Prince Harry is our quarterback. MVP this season. Fly, Eagles, fly. I'm telling you guys, my expectations are up here for Carson Wentz. What he was able to prove to me with little to nothing down the stretch last season. Like, Cowboys fans, don't let them fool you guys. Don't let them fool you guys. They will talk about the number one offensive attack. They will talk about all these yards combined with all the receivers. But where did it get them? Did they make the playoffs? No. Did Carson Wentz have a lot of weapons? Did he still make the playoffs? He did. He did. I'm just speaking of facts. Augie, yo, RB, can we look forward to watching an Eagles game and talking about it live? Would be fun to watch fans clash at each other. Hey, I'm usually watching the games with my dad, but yo, I might even do a game live. That would be nuts. That would be crazy. Imagine Eagles Cowboys Week 8 showdown. Us going on here live and going at would be absolutely nuts. Absolutely nuts. The slot god is being slept on as well. NRC, Nickel Roby Coleman. I'm telling you guys, Nickel Roby Coleman is going to step up as well. Like, I love the piece that we went out. Like, how he didn't make it a mission to go out and pay the craziest top dollar money, but he still acquired compatible pieces that we can plug in that will contribute. I'm telling you, we stay healthy, we will be a solid team, guys. Very solid team. At this point, we've been on here for an hour, 21 minutes. I'm thinking we go for another 20 to 30 minutes. Got a couple more things I want to talk about. But before we get there, you guys already know what we're doing all night. 30 people in here, 40 likes. Appreciate you guys. It is time for hot take number 3. Now, first hot take. Miles Sanders, 15 to 1,600 combined yards this season. My second hot take is that Jalen Reagor will have over 1,000 yards in his rookie season. For my third hot take, actually, I want to get your guys' hot takes first. I want to read some off, and then I will go with mine. So give me some kind of fire take, whether it's Eagles, whether it's Philly sports, whether it's sports in general. Give me your guys' hot takes in the comments. Let's read some of them off. Come on, guys. I need the energy. I need all the energy. If Lesean Mccoy joined the Eagles, would the NFC East be the first division to have 2 running backs with over 10,000 yards? That's a good question. I should definitely look that up. I think it would be crazy. It would definitely be crazy. That's a good point. Who remembers the kicker roasting Dallas at the draft a couple of years ago? Definitely one of my favorite speeches behind Jason Kelsey, David Akers, longtime Eagles kicker. One of my favorite Eagles. Just loved him. He was always consistent. Always kicking long field goals, one of the best to do it. And talking about how the draft picks weren't even born. It was great. And it was in Dallas too. It was awesome, dude. Gabe will start us off with our third round of hot takes. We will have 4 picks and 6 sacks on Dak this year. That would be absolutely crazy. Imagine week 8. You remember how last year, I believe we threw a pick right away. The first time we played Dallas. Imagine us coming right out and snagging one from Dak Prescott. Imagine a pick 6 to start off that matchup. The link would go absolutely nuts. Goat James, one and done. I don't like it, dude. I don't like your pessimistic views there. I don't like it. I don't think the Eagles go one and done this year. I don't. SJ94, how does a Dallas Cowboy fan change a light bulb? They don't, but just talk about how good the old one was. And I think that is the quote of the night there. It speaks for itself. It speaks for itself. I don't know what else I could say to that. It's perfect. It's perfect. King Poe, I don't think we are landing any more big name free agents. The proof is that we won't even sign another running back for more than veterans minimum. I think the 3 names we look at are Curry, McCoy, and Peters. I love it. I think all of those guys have a chance to return to the Philadelphia Eagles this season. And I love it, man. I love it. Sanders at 11, Reagor at 900. I like it. I like it. Hot take, Carson Wentz Super Bowl MVP. Wouldn't that be sweet? Wouldn't that be sweet? Carson Wentz sitting up there as the haters, the Cowboy fans bawling their eyes out, seeing Carson Wentz hold up that Lombardi. That'd be sweet. Kayvon, great take. Jake Elliott, top 5 kicker. A lot of people have been sleeping on him. You know, he's low-key been very solid over the years. Now, for some reason, he struggles on extra points, but he can kick 50-yard field goals, which doesn't make sense. I don't know why. But I think Jake Elliott will be good. He's been doing some crazy things. I've been watching videos, like some crazy dude perfect kind of stuff, like hitting a golf ball off like 5 different things into a cup. Crazy. He's talented. But at this point, I would like to go ahead and give my final hot take, and it pertains to my dude, man. You guys know I'm rocking with my guy, Carson Wentz. I'm tired of the disrespect he's been getting from some of these people. Carson Wentz can't stay healthy. You know what? He stayed healthy the entire season last season. He got taken out by a cheap shot. Carson Wentz, I believe he will play a 16-game season. He will stay healthy, and I think Carson Wentz, given that his people or the majority of them stay healthy around him, I think Carson Wentz goes for 4,500 yards and 40-plus touchdowns. That will be my third and final hot take of the night. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys have confidence in Carson Wentz? I have all the confidence in the world in Carson Wentz. I think even now, given what happened in the draft, I think he's going to play with this chip on his shoulder. And I think we're going to see some of the magic that we saw from 2017 Carson Wentz. I'm talking about coming out of piles. I'm talking about roaming around, throwing 40, 50-yard bombs to all these, speedy guys out at the wideout. I think Carson Wentz is going to ball out this season, and I will be here to tell off all the haters when he does. I am in 110% full support of my dude Carson Wentz. Edwin Solano, hot take, 5,000 yards and 50 touchdowns. I love it, dude. I love it. That's a little bold, but I like it, dude. SJ needs a wrench for that comment. You're right. He's getting a wrench because I love that. Anthony Perry, why they hate on Wentz is so hard is beyond me. It doesn't, I'll tell you why. It's crazy too, because some of the people come from in-house too. And it's because they can't stand that Nick Foles was the one to win a Super Bowl. But I've been on record to say you can cherish Nick Foles and enjoy Carson Wentz. It is not a problem to have both of these guys as part of the Eagles of the last 5 years. It's not. It really is not. And I'm tired of the disrespect that Carson Wentz gets. Without him, we don't win the Super Bowl in 2017. I don't know how much I have to stress that. Carson Wentz played as big of a role as Nick Foles did. He got us to 11-2. He helped get us that number 1 seed, that home field advantage. It blows my mind how people, like you said, come at Carson Wentz. It doesn't make sense. King Poe, if I see Carson Wentz up on that podium, hoisting that Lombardi with a huge smile on his face, I will cry tears of joy like a little girl. You guys will see me on here. I'll go live. I'll be bawling my eyes out if Carson Wentz wins that Super Bowl. You guys should have seen me during the first Super Bowl. I still have videos saved. I never, put them out to the public. I was going absolutely nuts. Like, I think I went crazy that night. Philly Talk Podcast, arrived at my destination. Hot take, the Eagles lead the league in takeaways. I love it, dude. I'm telling you. Stop. Don't sleep on his defense. People are sleeping on us. I just put out a video, by the way, and I want you guys to go check it out when we're off here. It's about Ladainian Tomlinson, former NFL player, Hall of Famer, one of my favorite backs to watch growing up. Ladainian Tomlinson said the Eagles are the most underhyped team in the NFL. No one's really paying attention, but they should, and I absolutely agree. SJ94, what does a Cowboys fan do after their team wins a Super Bowl? Turns off his Xbox and goes to bed. I mean, I don't know what to say. It's perfect at this point. That's number 2. That's number 2 that SJ has hit it spot on. I want a third one. Wentz at 4,200. Could definitely see it. I like that. We are going 14-5 Super Bowl. Carson Wentz, Super Bowl MVP. I love it, dude. I love it. Sweeping out the playoffs. I wonder who we would play in the playoffs, man. Definitely some juggernauts in the NFC, but it's going to be a good battle. Carson is an MVP player. I agree, man. Like nowadays, it's crazy. Like you get paid based on your potential. You really don't get paid that much based on what you've done. And having a guy like Carson Wentz and being able to pay him at that rate that we paid him, $128 million. I thought we really got him for a discount. Like you said, to me, he has that MVP type of potential. He can do things that other quarterbacks really can't do that well. So I love it, dude. Like you said, Carson Wentz is big time. Augie says, as a Cowboys fan, I feel personally attacked, but I believe in what you do, and that's why I keep coming back. You guys are so funny. Hey, Augie, you are a real Cowboys fan. Like I said earlier in my video, there are a few Cowboys fans I can actually talk with, but it's just the delusional people that just comment on every video and just say the worst things. Like it just makes me laugh. It just makes me sit back and laugh. Like some of you guys, most of them can't even hold a normal conversation. It's great. Anthony Perry, without Wentz going 11-2, we don't go to the Super Bowl. Like I said the same thing. I can't stress that enough. Carson Wentz played such a role in 2017. Like people forget that. People forget us blowing out, the Bears, the Broncos, like putting up 30, 40 points, watching Wentz do pretty much anything he wanted to. And I'm telling you, he still should have won that MVP award. Hot take, Eagles beat Chiefs in Super Bowl. Carson Wentz, Super Bowl MVP. Could you imagine that? Could you imagine the Eagles going up on Andy Reid and the Chiefs and Pat Mahomes returning to the Super Bowl and we go out and take them off their throne? Would be absolutely nuts. Kara Poole, all right, I'm tapping out. Someone take over for me. Great stream, RB. Shout out to you, Kara, for always holding it down. We're at an hour and a half. I know you guys are getting tired, but there's 31 people in here. And I want to say, if you guys have been in here for a while, shout out to you guys. You guys don't have to come on here, but us coming on here talking sports, I appreciate each and every one of you guys. And if you guys didn't hear earlier, I'm going to be bringing you guys on here soon to talk some Eagles football. We got a lot of stuff coming to the channel. Once we hit 2K, we're going to take off. We're on the road to 2K. Appreciate you guys that are in here. Hit that like button if you haven't. And let's keep talking for at least a good 15 more minutes. King Po, the pass that Carson made to Sanders against the Redskins looked like his 2017 form. It was gorgeous. I'm telling you guys, that is one of the most unbelievable passes I've ever seen with my eyes. Like he talk about threading a needle. Even the one that he threw to Corey Clement, I believe it was, or even some of the ones I've seen him throw to Sproles on, a little slant route, and he's like off 1 foot. I mean, it's absolutely nuts what Carson Wentz can do. But people will just hone in on one little thing. They won't look at that. They won't look at it as a collective. I mean, Carson Wentz has what? 97 touchdowns in his first 4 seasons. He has over almost 15,000 yards. People won't look at that though. They'll look at just the minute things, or they'll look at him getting taken out by a cheap shot and saying, oh, Carson Wentz isn't good. I mean, the dude has like 80 touchdowns, 20 picks over the last 3 years. Like, it's crazy how people disrespect him, man. But I agree. Carson Wentz can do things that a lot of people cannot do. Max, the Sixers fan, social distancing since 1996. I'm guessing you're talking about the Cowboys and the playoffs. That's pretty funny. I like that. Nate McCauley, you're not a real Eagles fan if you don't believe in Carson Wentz. I agree, man. Like, why can't we just support our people, right? Why can't we just support our players and just say we have your back? Like the amount of people, there's people still commenting on my Jalen Hurts reaction from draft night, which by the way is almost at 100K, which blows my mind. But there are still people commenting on that, telling me how Carson Wentz is going to get hurt and Jalen Hurts is going to step in and be this crazy piece for us. Like, it's crazy, dude. It's crazy. Some people just got too much hate in their hearts, man. Who are you more excited to watch this year, Davion Taylor or Sean Bradley? That's a very good question. I would go with Davion Taylor just because I think he's a little more developed, but don't sleep on Sean Bradley either. One of these guys, or maybe even both, are going to have to step up. We had Jordan Hicks a couple years back, and I kind of compared Davion Taylor to him as a third-round pick as well. We always look to the late rounds for linebackers, and like I said, that is our most questionable piece, at this point. What are we going to do at linebacker? So I think guys are going to have to step up. We might not be done yet, and we need to solidify that linebacker room. If we do that, given what we have on the outside, given what we have behind those guys and up in the front four, front five on the trenches, let me tell you guys, special defense. Special defense. I believe the defense is going to be top 10 this year. Dallas Cowboys said they were back. That was a lie. The Eagles are flying high. Let's go, champs. Absolutely agree. I mean, they say that every year. You know, we're going to win the Super Bowl. I still got people commenting on my stuff. Every year, we're going to win the Super Bowl. Come on, guys. Let's be realistic. Be realistic. You haven't sniffed the NFC Championship since 1995. It's great. And I've been watching Cowboys people melt down all day. It's lovely. Lovely. Superhero 18, healthy Wentz is one of the most explosive playmakers in the NFL. I trust in Wentz all the way, and I absolutely agree. Carson Wentz, when healthy, is one of those guys, and I hope he stays healthy. I hope he stays healthy so that we can see what Carson Wentz will live up to, because I believe if healthy, he will deliver a championship to the city of Philadelphia. I'm telling you, it's coming, guys, as long as he stays healthy. And imagine if we do end up getting him one of these crazy number ones in the next couple of years. I mean, come on. Come on. Hot take, offense will average over 30 points a game and defense will average less than 18 points a game. Imagine that. Imagine how crazy that will be. The offense will be a little tough. I could see us going mid-20s. In terms of the defense, though, I think you could be onto something. I think the Eagles' defense could average under 20 points a game, and I'm excited to see how they all come together. A lot of people aren't talking about Marquand Manuel, the new DBs coach we have. I'm tired of all these DBs coaches that we've had in the past couple of years. They all suck. I think Marquand Manuel is going to bring that tough, aggressive attitude, and as long as guys aren't playing 10 feet off their men, let me tell you guys, we're going to be something special. Eagles champ 1. Do you think Wallace is starting week 1? McLeod, Wallace, and Mills. I'm telling you guys, I think Kayvon Wallace, just what I've seen from him, just what I'm feeling, as long as he shows that he's here, I have a feeling that they're going to go with the young guy at safety. You know, losing Malcolm Jenkins, I think Kayvon Wallace in a few different ways can compare to kind of what Malcolm was able to bring to this defense. And for some reason, I just see Kayvon Wallace taking a quick stint and developing quick, and I could see him starting week 1. I really could. I could. Augie, how can you tell someone can get hurt before it even happens? Are you talking about me? I'm in terms of Carson Wentz. I mean, I'm not saying that he's going to get hurt or not. I'm saying I'm confident that he doesn't get hurt based off last season, you know, playing a full regular season. And I don't think he'll get hurt. At least I hope not. And I hope he'll have a great season. That's what I'm hoping. If Taylor ends up being a healthier version of Hicks, that would be beast. I agree, bro. I think if he steps up, I mean, I can only say it enough. The defense is going to be very, very strong. I believe in the Eagles defense, what we're going to bring to the table. And I'm really excited. I'm really excited. Wentz led that team from 5-7 to the playoffs with nothing. And that is a great point. After that Miami game, I said to myself, we were down and out for the count. Like, the season was pretty much done. But what did he do? He got better. Everyone kept dropping like flies, and Wentz put us on his back and took us to where we needed to go. He took us to where we needed to go. And he proved to us the leadership question. It doesn't matter about stats or what the Cowboys did or anyone else. Carson Wentz took us to the playoffs, and he even would have had a good shot of winning that game if he did not go out. That is the fact of the matter. Nate McCauley, hot take, Carson Wentz gets NFC Player of the Week 2 times in a row. Could definitely see it happen. I think he's going to have some pretty good games this year. 3-4 touchdowns, over 350 yards. I agree, man. Honestly, I don't think the Eagles will win the trophy this year, but give it a year, and I think that they could make it. I agree with your point. I respect it. I think Just give us some time to polish. Give us some more pieces. And I think this team is going to be very special. Like I said, what we were able to do in just a little bit of time is crazy. Augie, yeah, that's what I meant by that on the Carson Wentz thing. I mean, I'm not saying he's going to get or he's not. I mean, it's just me speaking confidently. Obviously, I don't know. I can't tell the future, but if Carson Wentz stays healthy, this team has the potential to go deep into the playoffs. That's just my personal opinion. So I hope that he stays healthy. Gabe, I think this is McLeod and Mills last year as an Eagle, unless Mills turns out to be a great safety. Parks and Wallace are the future. I like that, man. I think Will Parks is going to contribute as well. He gets forgotten about. Hopefully McLeod holds it down. Hopefully he doesn't, show a few weaknesses like he kind of has in the past. But I think McLeod is going to step up, and I think he's going to hold a solid role and really take on that leadership role now that Malcolm is gone. I think he kind of views that as his responsibility, but could see big things happening. Born 5, who is your favorite rookie? That's a good one. I would either say Jalen Reagor or Kayvon Wallace. I'm probably going to go with Kayvon Wallace just because I think he was a steal later on in the draft. I think he could have gone in the second or third. But knowing Kayvon Wallace, what I've continued to see now and how I think he's going to impact this team and step in right away, just how he's been talking even about Philadelphia. I really like Kayvon Wallace. I think I'll probably go with him. But I like all of them. Eagles champ 1. They sleeping on Wallace. He was a second-round pick, ran faster combine than Jamal Adams. He's underrated, and he's going to make NFL pay. I agree. I think he's going to step up big, and he is going to be a guy that the Eagles can count on. He's going to deliver some big hits. He's going to make some big plays. King Poe, biggest hot take of the night. I love it. J.J. Arcega-Whiteside leads the team in touchdowns by week 8. We talked earlier about which receiver will be the one to step up and surprise you. And I picked JJ, and I like that. Could you imagine JJ leading the team in touchdowns by week 8? Imagine him coming out here and looking like a whole new player, new and improved, kind of how he did in college. They kind of give this guy a little bit of freedom, tell him, here's the keys. You go out there and you perform, and he's healthy, and he's catching balls. I'm telling you, Whiteside has talent in there. They just got to get it out of him. And this is the time to do so. I like it. Anthony Perry, every quarterback in the league can get hurt. Stop with the negative aura. Who's to say Dak won't get hurt? He got hurt last year before they played us in Philly, but he gets a pass. Thank you. Thank you for saying that. Here's the thing about some Cowboys fans that piss me off. They'll talk about Carson Wentz getting injured, right? Then when you bring up about Dak, when you bring up about Carson Wentz beating Dak, right, in that final matchup, the one that basically won us the division, they'll say, oh, Dak was hurt. Dak was hurt. But you see how they try to play both sides of the equation? Like, it just doesn't work like that. And then when we say that Carson Wentz won that game and showed what he had to, they'll say, oh, we were just tanking for CeeDee Lamb. Like, they play both sides of the equation, and I hate that. And like you said, any guy can get hurt at any single time. It's just the reason why their quarterback is trying to get all the money that he can. It happens. If it happens consistently, it's an issue. But like you said, football is a game of hits. Guys can get injured. Great point, Anthony. I like your insight tonight. I really do. Elijah, respect from Dallas. Shout out to you, bro. Shout out to you. Thank you for being optimistic. I respect it. I respect it. SJ, man, you won the night, bro. You won the night. That's the third one that got me. He said, my cousin put a Dallas Cowboy sticker on his broken vacuum. Now it sucks again. I love it, dude. I love it. Shout out to you, bro. I need to see you in more of these live streams. Gabe, very good question. Who is the voice and leader of the defense now that Jenkins is gone? I'm telling you guys, I think it's going to be in terms of the secondary, that's kind of what I'm looking at. I could see it being big play Slay, but for some reason, I just feel that Rodney McLeod is going to step up and take that responsibility onto himself. I mean, you saw him working with Jenkins. I think he's trying to get some of those leadership qualities, work on it a little bit more and kind of be the guy to step up and talk to the defense and really set that tone. We need to set that tone. We need to be coming hard, fast, setting setting the tempo on games. I talked about this before. I talked about how the offense needs to start off a lot better. We can't end the first quarter every game with 3 points, but also the defense. We have to come out and if we give the other team the ball on the first possession, we need to go and make them go 3 and out. We need to get the ball back right away, and we need to take longer drives and keep our defense off the field. We have a lot of talent, but we can't tire them out. So that's a great point. And by the way, guys, it's been an hour 45 now. We're probably going to go for about 5 to 10 more minutes. There's still 32 people in here. I appreciate all of you guys. You guys have been bringing the heat all night long. 44 likes. If you haven't, smash that like button. Let's get that to 50 by the time we end. Subscribe if you're new. We're going to be streaming a lot more. And my realest subscribers, the one that keeps showing love, guess what? You guys are going to be joining me on here very, very soon on these live streams. And I appreciate you guys for staying through. I know it's hard, man. We're approaching 2 hours, but you guys have been bringing all the heat. I love it. So at this time, we're going to do 2 more short segments. As of right now, I want you to ask me any question pertaining to the Eagles. Ask me any question you are dying to know. I'm going to answer a couple of those, and then we will get into our final hot takes of the night before we wrap this up. And like I said, again, I appreciate you guys for being here so constant and steady and continuing to talk in the chat. Means a lot, guys. What do the Brokeback Mountain and the NFL have in common? That Cowboys both suck. I love it, dude. SJ is crazy, man. I like him. Trey Grimes, how well do you think CD will do for the Cowboys? I'm pretty nervous, not going to lie. Well, actually, I think he will do pretty well, actually. I don't think he's going to be the top receiver. I could probably see him being number 2 when it comes to total yards. He's a guy that you can do a lot with. So I would be nervous as well, but given all the hype, but he did fall for a reason. And I think the Cowboys are going to try to use him and get him going very, very quick. That's just my opinion. Born 5. I love how Dallas fans stop talking about a quarterback controversy. That's what I've been talking about, man. For some reason, it just goes right out the window, right? That they talk and they talk, but when it comes back and hits them right in the face, they don't want to talk about it. Born 5, can you do 2 live streams a week? Hey, man, I think I'm going to start doing 2 live streams a week at least. Maybe one where we can talk with subscribers. Maybe one I'll just do it on my phone, wherever I'm at, just chill, see what's up with you guys. We're going to do some more live streams. Right now, obviously, we stream every single Friday. I'm going to think of another day. We're definitely going to get this going, guys. We're going to get this going. Keep rolling. Superhero 18, what are your thoughts on special teams? That is a good question. Dave Phipp, I think it was, what year was it, guys? Was it 2015, 2014 when we had so many special teams plays, like whether it was punt return touchdowns, kick return touchdowns, like anything we did, blocked field goals, we just continued to, make plays. And that really helps, and it goes underrated, undervalued. I think the Eagles special teams, the people that we have, some of these extra guys like Killins, other guys who I expect to be on special teams will make an impact. But what I will tell you for sure is that the Eagles need to get this special teams thing straightened out, because the last couple of years, they have not played up to par in where they should be. I mean, you don't got to make multiple plays every game, but you got to do something, right? You got to have an impact. Sometimes I feel like they're not there. They need to have an impact. Nate McCauley, should we sign a veteran linebacker? I do. I do think we should sign a veteran linebacker. Whoever's out there on the markets, it'll be for a 1-year deal if we do, but I think we need a veteran guy. Obviously, we have the guy from the Chargers who he's had an all right career, hasn't played much the last couple of years, has been hurt. I think we need that veteran linebacker that can step in and can be that guy. Jatavis Brown from the Chargers. Can he be that guy? He could. Kind of a long stretch. We need a veteran to step in and shore those guys up. Just being honest. Barn 5, who is your favorite Eagle of all time? Very good question. I have a couple, man. It's hard to pick one. Some of the guys I watched, growing up that are my favorite are Brian Dawkins, have his jersey in my closet, Lesean McCoy, and D-Jax. If I had to pick 3, I would go with those three just because those are my guys growing up. But there's so many. There's so many. But those are just a couple for you. King Po, what remaining free agents should be signed? I'm not going to say exact players, but I think we go for a linebacker. I think we could shore up, maybe even get one more defensive lineman like an Everson Griffin. But overall, I think we'll be good. And the last guy I could see us going for is I could actually see us going for a veteran wide receiver. I don't know if people have thought about that, but maybe a guy with some experience, like a Demarius Thomas or someone like that, a Corey Coleman, someone like that. Whoever is out on the market, a veteran guy that we could bring in here just to give us that a little more veteran experience if Marquise Goodwin doesn't pan out. Just some guys I'm throwing out there that I could think of. What happened to Kyle Lauletta? You can forget about Kyle Lauletta, whatever his name, Lauletta, tongue twister. You can forget about him and Sudfeld as well. They don't believe in Sudfeld. I don't want to hear that. He'll be the second string quarterback, but I'm telling you, the Eagles have never believed in Sudfeld. Augie, you are one of the Cowboys fans I respect. Same here. Augie is very objective, and I appreciate that. I do appreciate that as an Eagles fan. We can go back and forth about our teams, one of the craziest rivalries. But if you're a Cowboys fan and you can be objective, I appreciate that. I do. Yeah, the 2017 special teams were awesome. I agree. I would love to get back to that as well. We need to. Do you think Adams will go to Dallas if he gets traded? Sadly, it hurts me to say this, but I think the number one team he would probably go to is the Cowboys, and that hurts. That's why I'm hoping the Jets have seemed to help to hold on to him, and I hope they do again. I hope he does not go because I feel like he could end up going to the Cowboys. Eagles Champs 1, I'm wearing my B-Dog jersey watching you. Shout out to you, bro. I appreciate that. Next stream, remind me, bro. I'm going to put on my B-Dog jersey. It's one of the old ones. I'm going to bring that thing over here. We're going to rock it out, man. Kayvon Wallace is a dog. I agree. But here we go, guys. Last 5 minutes. We've been on for an hour 52. Appreciate all you guys have been in here. We need 4 more likes to get it up to 50. Go ahead and smash that like button if you have not yet. But at this time, I've done way too much talking. I'll give a final hot take in a couple minutes, but I want to hear from you guys. Bring the energy. Bring the heat. What is your biggest hot take? Just come on. Just feed them to me. I need your biggest hot takes. Come on. Biggest hot takes of the night as we go ahead and wrap this up. You guys have been bringing the energy all night. I want to know your final thoughts, your final opinions. Give me the craziest hot takes. It doesn't even have to be from the Philadelphia Eagles. It could be the whole NFL, any team, whatever team you like. Give me the hottest takes of the night. I don't think Jerry will trade for Jamal because of the compensation it would take. Yeah, it would probably take a lot. And we just hit 50 likes. Appreciate you guys that keep showing love. I was at a Pats game when Lauletta played for the Giants, threw the game-winning touchdown. Still going to get cut, probably. Bye, Sharano. Yo, RB, I'm trying to hop on a stream or video next time. Like I said, I'm getting all the softwares and stuff worked out. I'm definitely going to be bringing people on here. Shout out to Bashir. He just made a channel. Go ahead and check him out as well. We're all grinding out here. We're all supporting each other. Let's get to these final hot takes for the last couple minutes. I see them flying in here, and we're going to get to all of them. I appreciate you guys for staying in here. So the first one is from Max. Kayvon LeBlanc is going to be cornerback 2. Wouldn't that be crazy if Kayvon somehow rose up above Sidney and Avante and Rasul and all those guys and became cornerback 2? Crazy. Kayvon Wallace is going to be Pro Bowl. Hey, I love it. I could definitely see it, him taking a big jump in his first year. John Lynch, Jalen Reagor breaks Deshaun Jackson rookie record, 916 yards. Wouldn't that be absolutely crazy? One of my hot takes earlier was that Jalen Reagor goes for over 1,000 yards. So I agree, man. I think that would be crazy. Barn 5, Miles Sanders, MVP. I love it. He's talking it. Speak it into existence. Another one about Miles Sanders. Sanders goes 1,000 rushing and 1,000 receiving. I love, dude. I mean, talk about crazy. That would be absolutely nuts. I'm thinking 1,700 yards combined. But hey, it's as much as they're going to give him. This kid can handle it. He can handle it all. I'm telling you guys. Biggest hot take, Miles Sanders MVP. It's coming in a lot now. You guys are really high on Miles Sanders. I'm telling you what he was able to do. I mean, the dude almost had, 700, 800 yards in not even playing really the first third of the season. It was more so Jordan Howard. But as he started to stretch his abilities, as we started to give him more plays and more responsibility, and let's not forget, he was kind of injured down the stretch. He was just showing up every single game. It's going to be special with Miles Sanders in the backfield. Cowboys get Adams and we'll get Yannick and Leonard somehow. No, I don't think so. I don't think so. They could get Adams, but no. Hot take is Cowboys have 3 1,000-yard receivers. No chance. Do you think a team will sign Cam Newton anytime soon? I do think he will sign. I think he'll end up being a backup behind one of these more solidified quarterback situations. Maybe like a Seahawks, right? Like behind Russell Wilson or something like that. Kind of how what James said. I don't think any team is looking at Cam to be a starter at this point, but I think he'll get signed soon. Carson Wentz will win MVP. Coach Peterson will win Coach of the Year, and we will win the Super Bowl. I absolutely love it. Love the confidence. We're going to go crazy. Richie, Andy Dalton will start the whole season and go 11-5. I mean, that would be pretty funny if he did start the season, but he's not going 11-5. And even if he did, he'd lose in the first round of the playoffs. We know. Hot take, Eagles win Super Bowl 55 in Tampa versus the Chiefs. That would be an ultimate showdown. I'm loving these hot takes. They keep coming in. Keep them coming, guys. Couple more minutes here. My voice is kind of getting a little scratchy if you can hear it. Hot take and new era. Wentz hits Reagor 80 yards, touchdown, and Kelly Green. Bring back the Kelly Green jerseys. I'm telling you. Andy Reid used to love going deep on his first play. Imagine us coming out week 1 against the freaking Redskins. Wentz goes under center, play action. D. Jackson, Reagor on the outside, and he just unleashes one deep. First play of the season, boom. I predicted last year D. Jax would have a touchdown or 2 in the opening game, and he did. I could see us going for it again. I love how RB says no chance. We were close last year. I'm telling you, no chance. No chance. Not playing against big play Slay. I'll tell you that. The Cowboys have a tough schedule as well. Don't let them fool you. Jalen Hurts has 5 touchdowns. That'd be pretty crazy. If he comes in. Imagine if we bring some crazy formations in. We do like a little jet sweep, flea flick it off to Jalen Hurts. He throws a bomb. Wouldn't that be crazy? What if we do a Philly special and Jalen Hurts ends up throwing it to Carson Wentz for a touchdown? How about that? That's my final hot take. Philly special in the end zone, 5-yard line. Philly special, hike. Carson Wentz goes out wide and catches it from Jalen Hurts. How about that one? You Cowboys fans make me laugh. Once Randy Gregory gets reinstated, the Cowboys will have the best D-line in the league. No, you have a bunch of guys who are getting way too old, getting washed up. Let's stop it. Stop the foolery, okay? Stop the foolery. Hot take, Miles Sanders, MVP. Carson Wentz, Super Bowl MVP. I love it. Hot take, Eagles with 2 receivers over 1,000 yards. And I could see that happening. Definitely could see it if Reagor were to explode. I could see it maybe if D-Jax was going crazy. But, hey, it'd be pretty special. We have a lot of weapons. Don't forget the tight ends as well. My biggest hot take, Dak goes to New England. That would be insane. Could you imagine Robert Kraft and Jerry pulling off a deal for Dak Prescott? It'd be absolutely nuts. It'd be absolutely nuts. Dak would probably do all right under Bill Belichick, system quarterback. Hot take, Eagles terrorize the league with that speed all over the roster, surprising all the preseason experts and commentators. And I love that. I think they are. I think we're going to come out with some big time speed. And as long as these guys are healthy and they can hold on to the ball, I'm looking to see a lot of creativity within the offense, the running backs, the tight ends, the wide receivers. There is a lot we can do with this team as long as we stay healthy. And we'll get to just a couple more here. We just hit 2 hours. There's still almost 30 people in here. Appreciate you guys for being in here. Hot take, RB hits 2,000 subs within the next 2 months, and that might be my favorite one. Guys, we are on the road to 2K. We're going to be collabing with a whole bunch of people, bunch of Eagles YouTubers, bunch of Philly YouTubers. I might even collab with a Cowboys YouTuber, get on here and do some live debating. That would be absolutely nuts. Might break YouTube. And I'm going to get some of you guys on here as well to talk some Philly sports. Probably going to end up live streaming more than once a week going forward. I just want to see how you guys are enjoying it. And it seems like you guys are really enjoying this, talking with me. I know I'm enjoying it. I'm loving this every single Friday and more to come as well. Think so, but the Pats have so many holes to fill right now, so they'd be wasting Dak if they get him. Randy Gregory can get 6 to 8 sacks off the couch. Hot take, let me join the stream for the November 1st showdown. Man, that would be absolutely nuts. All I can tell you guys right now, I haven't been on YouTube for an NFL season, but when the Eagles play the Cowboys, do you know how nuts I'm going to go that week? I mean, the Cowboys people are going to hate me by that point. I mean, I'm going to go absolutely crazy with the content, live streams, videos, reactions, all of it. All of it. We're going to go absolutely nuts. And I'm telling you right now, I'm calling it. Write it down. Take a screenshot. Save the video. The Eagles will deliver a beatdown to the Dallas Cowboys. I'm talking upwards of 15, 20 points at least on November 1st in Philadelphia at the Link. The Eagles are going to come out, and as long as we're healthy, I'm telling you, we are going to beat down the Dallas Cowboys. You guys will remember that game. You will remember that game. King Poe, RB, that's one thing I love about the Eagles. It doesn't matter who our wide receivers are. We fight in Philly, and we do our best with our backs against the wall with everyone saying we're not that good. Like I said earlier, man, absolutely agree. We thrive in that underdog role. That is where we are at our best. Take all the attention. Shift the bright lights off of the Philadelphia Eagles, and they will thrive. I mean, that's just what happened over the last couple of years. It's what happens. It is what happens. But at the end of the day, guys, we are at 2 hours. There's 26 people in here. On your way out, smash that like button. I want to say thank you for staying tuned throughout the 2 hours. Most of you guys have been in here for a while, continuing to comment, bringing the most fire takes on YouTube. I love this tonight. I really did. Sharing a bunch of insight, going back and forth. Like I said, no matter who you are, where you're from, I'm going to respect you. And I appreciate you guys, even the Cowboy fans that are realistic, have been in here and have been showing some love, man. So we're going to continue this. Like I said, we're going to be streaming more collabs to come soon. We're on the road to 2K. I dropped the video right before I got on this live stream. So go ahead and check that out as well on your way out. But I want to say I hope you guys have a great weekend and have a great week. We'll see what happens in the coming week. Maybe we'll do a collab stream next week if everything is sorted out right. But I appreciate you guys. Be sure to stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy, and enjoy your weekend. And as always, man, live a good life. Live a good life. No matter what's going on in the world, be happy. Continue to be true. Be you in 2020. And we're going to get through this together. Sports will be back soon. And I appreciate all the support. But with that being said, I go by RB. This is Philly Take with RB. And I appreciate all you guys. Hope you guys have a great rest of the night. And I will catch you on the next one. Peace.